Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Monster Men Isle of Terror #2 from American Mythology. So this is part of their Edgar Rice Burroughs universe comics, and they have been putting out lesser known works of Edgar Rice Burroughs, who created Tarzan and John Carter. However, these comics seem to be kind of winding down. There's only 2 more comics that have been solicited for their Edgar Rice Burroughs line. However, these comics are continuing. Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. is putting out its own comics, and the person who wrote and edited this line is over there doing that for them, Mike Wolfer. And so, the comics in general are continuing. There's been no word on if there will be a Monster Men graphic novel or anything like that, but we can cross our fingers. And yes, kids, this issue is real. It is in my hands, even though if you look on Comixology, it doesn't exist. I've said in the past, usually as a rule of thumb, if it comes out in Comixology, it's going to come out in print, and it's going to end up at your comic shop. However, this issue is apparently some kind of exception. I can't explain it. I have no idea. I'm assuming it will be on Comixology at some point. But the world's kind of crazy right now. I paid $13 for comic bags when I got this issue. There are runways melting in Britain. I mean, the world's kind of gone insane. Speaking of insanity, let's talk about this fantastic cover. So this is by the interior artist Royale Martinez, and it lets you know exactly what you're getting, right? This is dark. It lets you know it's horror. You get to see the monsters, and I mean, it's Edgar Rice Burroughs set to heavy metal, right? I mean, it's just amazing. Royale Martinez has always been a fantastic cover artist, but I feel like the last couple covers he's done on Monster Men have really upped the game, and this is absolutely no exception. I just love, the layout and thought that went into this. It's very hard to get, this many figures to actually work in a coherent image like this, but it's just done masterfully. This could be a statue. I mean, it's just a really, really freaking awesome cover, and you actually get to see the monsters in the title, and it's pretty damn cool. And so on the interior, Royale Martinez continues to do this fantastic artwork set at night, and it's just carving these images out of darkness, and it's just really awesome. And I just love his artwork on this series. I'm not going to show you the new Monster Men because you do get a really good look at them inside of here, and I don't want to spoil that because the new monster designs are amazing, and I just want you to experience that for yourself when you pick this up. And so Wolfer turned in his scripts for this series before he left the company, and so since he's no longer there, he's not really overseeing how it's put together. However, I really can't tell the difference for the most part for the comics that have been put out since he's left that he worked on, so that's really good. However, there was this one scene that disoriented me slightly. So there's this one conspicuous panel with this ship sailing towards the shore, which has no word balloons in it, which is kind of weird. And this panel here, I kind of was a little disoriented because I thought maybe he was on the land with the other characters. I think probably what should have happened was that this word balloon right here, which he says there she is, probably should have been in this panel establishing that he was on the boat. However, I figured it out within 60 seconds, and I probably wouldn't have been disoriented at all if it hadn't been so long since last issue. I just forgotten that there was, pirates coming after them. But again, just very minor scene in an otherwise excellent issue. Actually, it just occurred to me, probably the more likely explanation is that there are missing word balloons in this panel because you notice how much space there is. But again, very minor flaw in an otherwise excellent issue. So these comics are to follow up to an Edgar Rice Burroughs novel called The Monster Men, which is about a scientist on a jungle island who tries to create artificial men, and it doesn't go quite right, as you can probably tell. And so the original novel was a jungle adventure with some horror elements in it. And this is very much a horror story with some jungle elements in it. And so, as you can probably tell from the cover, this is our climactic action issue where things come to a head. We've had several different factions of characters chasing each other around in the dark for a while in the comics here. And so, this is the issue where they meet each other and try to kill each other. And so, there's a big blowout battle. It reminds me in the comic strip adaptation that I've read on edgariceburroughs.com, they end, unfortunately, it stops and it's not completed, but the scene they end on is this giant battle where all these different factions are trying to kill each other in the novel, and it's like a war in the jungle, and it's actually only halfway through the novel. I just can't imagine what the last half is like. But anyway, that's what this feels like. This is Armageddon in the jungle. This is a big war between monsters and men and other men and just all kinds of people shooting and punching and clawing each other and all that good stuff. But we also get, a lot of climactic reveals and promises of explanations as to what's going on, why there's a new experiment with the monster men and stuff like that, and a actual goal for the ending of the story. Like, this is a way that these characters could get out of here and end this. I don't know if we'll see that next issue or what, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we get in the final issue of this miniseries. So if you've been following this series, I recommend probably reading the first issue of the miniseries before this one, just kind of refreshing yourself because there's a lot going on. And if you're a new reader, I probably recommend picking up that first issue. That's probably the better jumping on point. You're really in the middle of a lot of stuff right here. But honestly, I recommend starting from the beginning of this series because there's only going to be 7 issues total in the Monster Men series, so it's really easy to pick up. There's one shot that starts it off called Monster Men Soul of the Beast, and then you pick up Monster Men Heart of Wrath, which was a 3-issue miniseries, and then the current series is called Monster Men Isle of Terror. And we're on the 2nd issue, and there's only one more left. So 7 issues, which are amazing, will get you this entire story. And the final issue is currently solicited for September 21st. Yeah, I know that's a long time away right now, but I am definitely looking forward to seeing the conclusion of this miniseries. And like I said, I hope there's more coming from Edgar Rice Burroughs, Inc. If American Mythology does not continue these comics. And so this final issue of Monster Men Isle of Terror is one of 2 issues that we have left in the Edgar Rice Burroughs comics from American Mythology, at least 2 that have been solicited that haven't come out yet. And so Beyond the Further Star Chronicles number 2 is the other one that we're waiting on, and I don't know when that's coming out. It was solicited for June 29th, and that's all it says if you look it up on Previews World. And so I don't know. Hopefully at some point we're going to get a real release date for that, and we'll get that comic. And once that happens, I will certainly be doing a review of that one as well. As far as the continuation of the comics goes, the first issue of Jane Porter, this is a one-shot, is available on edgariceburroughs.com. And so this is the first one from Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated, and Mike Wolfer did the story, and Royale Martinez did the interiors. And by the way, this is an advertisement in the back of one of Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated's novels, so that's why this is in black and white. But anyway, so they have a Jane Porter graphic novel coming up, and this is going to be drawn by Mariana Puglia, who drew Moon Maid to 3 Keys and Pellucidar Across Savage Seas. And then after that, they're going to have Victory Harbin, Ghost of Omos, which is set in the same solar system as Beyond the Furthest Star, so presumably it is following up on those comics, which is awesome. No creative team has been announced for that, but hopefully it's Mike Wolfer and Rinaldi, because they did a great job on the Beyond the Furthest Star miniseries. And then there is a Tarzan graphic novel coming as well, And I don't know who's doing that, but I'm just very, very glad to finally be getting some Tarzan comics. And by the way, Mike Wolfer is also doing novelettes. So if you pick up Tarzan Battle for Palustar, in the back is a story in the Land That Time Forgot with Sita the Savage, written by Mike Wolfer. And he's also going to be doing a novelette in the back of the Victory Harbin novel that's coming up. All right, that's it. I absolutely give this series my highest possible recommendation. I love Monster Men to death and hope it continues beyond this mini-series. I will definitely let you know when those final couple issues come out from American Mythology and if we get any updates on the new stuff from Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated. All right, guys, like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, see ya.